It looks like Tommy Robinson is going to be entering mainstream politics by joining...
Question, yeah? And most people would say reform. Unfortunately, I don't see Nigel Farage as an option. I see Nigel Farage's speeches about preparing ourselves for the 2050 demographical change of Islamic community in this country, and that we have to make peace with Islam. Okay, make a few things clear. I want to let people know why I joined, but also to make it clear, it's not my party, okay? I'm not running it. I don't want to be involved in party politics, if I'm honest. I'm just a member amongst tens of thousands.
Farage's masterstroke. How Tommy Robinson just handed Reform UK the keys to power. Right, let's cut through the noise, because what you are about to hear will fundamentally change how you view British politics. Tommy Robinson and Nigel Farage, two men who have spent years circling each other like wary prize fighters, have just executed what might be the most brilliant political maneuver of the decade. And before the legacy media even realizes what has happened, Reform UK could be positioning itself not as a fringe movement, but as Britain's next governing party. This is not reconciliation in the traditional sense. This is something far more sophisticated, far more calculated, and infinitely more dangerous to the established order. You are watching British Connors. If you have not subscribed yet, hit that button now, because we are the only channel telling you what is actually happening, whilst everyone else peddles comfortable lies. Stay with us.
Tommy Robinson says a lot of things that a lot of people agree with, and on the grooming gangs, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in there I agree with him on. It's, what, 170,000 now? We've got 1,500 council candidates ready for local elections. We've got donors coming in. I mean, we're doing all right.
On that, Robinson, do you think that there is a case that he's done a decent job in terms of raising awareness about...
Tommy Robinson says a lot of things that a lot of people agree with, and on the grooming gangs, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in there I agree with him on. He's highlighted some stuff. But anybody would agree with, I think. I mean...
Now, Tommy Robinson has joined a rival party, one that publicly criticizes Farage. On the surface, this looks like a split, a rejection, perhaps even betrayal. The mainstream press is celebrating, convinced this represents Reform UK's ceiling being firmly established. They are wrong, spectacularly, embarrassingly wrong. What we are witnessing is not division, it is the most elegant political theater Britain has seen in decades. Two men, both pilloried by the establishment, both written off as extremists, have just created the perfect ideological spectrum that captures every single voter who feels abandoned by modern Britain. And they have done it without a single coordinated meeting, without any formal alliance, simply by understanding the game better than everyone else playing it. For years, Farage has been haunted by one question that would not die. What is your relationship with Tommy Robinson? It has been the albatross around his neck, the gotcha moment in every serious interview, the weapon opponents wielded whenever Reform tried positioning itself as a legitimate political force. Every policy discussion derailed, every attempt at respectability undermined, every advance into middle-class territory blocked by that single recurring question. Robinson represents something undeniably powerful in British politics. He is authentic working-class anger personified. The former EDL leader, the man who makes polite society clutch their pearls, commands a devoted following that many professional politicians would kill for. His supporters are not casual voters. They are true believers, people who see him as the only voice willing to speak uncomfortable truths whilst everyone else performatively wrings their hands. But here is the brilliant bit, the part the commentariat has not grasped yet. Robinson joining a different party does not diminish his influence, it amplifies it, while simultaneously liberating Farage. And that is not a small thing, that is everything. And you can understand
if you are finding this analysis useful, this is exactly why British Connors exists. Subscribe and make sure you never miss a breakdown like this one. Reform UK's base has always been complex, far more nuanced than the simple far-right protest vote narrative the establishment peddles. The core is furious ex-conservatives, working-class and lower-middle-class voters, who feel abandoned, ignored, frankly betrayed by a conservative party that promised them control and delivered chaos. These are not extremists. They hold perfectly mainstream views, just unfashionable ones. Controlled immigration, law and order, Britain feeling like Britain again. Standard conservative principles that somehow became controversial overnight.
The relationship is settled. The endless speculation is finished. But this is where it gets properly interesting, where the real genius reveals itself. This does not just answer the Robinson question. It allows Farage to create clear blue water between Reform UK and anything the establishment can label as hard right, while simultaneously ensuring those voters have somewhere to go, somewhere that keeps them engaged in the political process rather than becoming disillusioned entirely. That second part matters just as much as the first. Reform is at a critical juncture.
They are no longer content being a protest party. They want actual power. They want to govern. That means growing support from the high 20s and low 30s in the polls up to the mid 30s consistently, and then beyond. That requires winning over new voters without alienating the base. And if you know anything about British political history, you know that that balancing act has destroyed parties before they even got started. Subscribe to British Connors right now, because we are tracking this transformation in real time, every single week. Reform has already captured much of the white working class vote. They are going to dominate that demographic completely within months. The affluent working class is on board. Even poorer working class voters who still back Labour for economic reasons are slowly shifting, recognizing that Labour's middle-class metropolitan leadership has absolutely no interest in their concerns whatsoever. But there is a ceiling. Roughly a third of the British electorate would never vote reform under any circumstances. Your middle-class, pro-Remain Liberal Democrats who worship immigration, champion multiculturalism, and view populism as civilization's gravest threat. Farage knows he will never get them. He is not even trying. The real prize, the voters who could push reform into genuinely competitive territory, are the establishment Tories. Older, middle-class, self-consciously respectable conservatives who believe in a certain way of doing politics. Proper, decent, worried about maintaining standards and traditions. They find populism distasteful, deeply suspicious of anything upending Britain's political norms. And these people are absolutely horrified by Tommy Robinson. If working-class voters see Robinson as one of their own, rough around the edges perhaps, but authentic, these middle-class Tories see him as everything wrong with modern politics. Uncouth, extreme, dangerous. They have always suspected Farage might secretly harbor those same tendencies, that underneath the pinstripes and pints, he's really just Tommy Robinson with better public relations. Now Robinson is visibly elsewhere, openly at odds with Farage. The distinction is crystal clear. Farage can legitimately claim he represents mainstream conservatism, perhaps the Conservative Party of Thatcher's era with a modern edge, whilst Robinson represents something altogether different. That is not Farage's world. That is not Reform's world. And crucially, there is now evidence to prove it. This is British Connors, and we say what no one else will. If you have not subscribed, do it now. You will want to be here for what comes next. This matters enormously because those middle-class Tory voters are not satisfied with the status quo. They are deeply unhappy with British politics, disappointed with the Conservative Party's surrender to progressive orthodoxy. They might not be as exercised about immigration levels as Reform's core base, not quite as Eurosceptic, but they absolutely agree Britain is in a dreadful state. They care intensely about law and order, about rules-based society, about maintaining standards. Reform's tough-on-crime message will resonate with them powerfully. But they needed reassurance. They needed to know that voting reform would not mean enabling something genuinely extreme, something shattering the Britain they recognize. Robinson's positionings elsewhere provides exactly that reassurance. Hand it to them without Farage even having to ask for it. Meanwhile, Robinson's new political home ensures those voters who want something harder, something uncompromising, are not lost to apathy. They stay engaged, they stay active, and crucially, they create pressure from the right that makes reform look moderate and reasonable by comparison. It is political triangulation at its finest. Farage can position reform as the sensible center-right option, the party for people who want controlled immigration without radicalism, who want law and order without extremism, who want Britain back without revolution. And every time someone points to Robinson as proof of right-wing extremism, Farage can simply gesture at the very visible gap between them, the public disagreements, the different parties, the clean separation. The establishment has spent years warning that ignoring legitimate concerns about immigration, identity, and national sovereignty would create space for something genuinely dangerous. Farage has spent his entire career arguing he represents the sensible outlet for those grievances. Now, with Robinson visibly elsewhere, that argument becomes infinitely more credible. He can make it with a straight face and the receipts to back it up. Middle-class Tories survey the landscape and see three options: continue supporting conservatives who have delivered nothing but disappointment, waste votes on Liberal Democrats who represent everything they oppose, or take a chance on reform, which now looks distinctly more respectable with clear, demonstrable distance from Robinson. For many of them, that calculation is about to change. This is how political realignments happen, not through dramatic moments, not through televised debates or viral clips, but through careful positioning, through creating the conditions where previously unthinkable choices become rational, even sensible. Britain is rebuilding, whether the establishment likes it or not. The question is not whether change is coming. It is who controls that change, who shapes it, who ensures it remains within democratic bounds, rather than exploding into something far more disruptive. Farage and Robinson, intentionally or not, have just created the perfect ecosystem for channeling British content into productive political engagement. One offers respectability and governing credibility.
The other offers uncompromising principle and authentic anger. Together, they have created a spectrum that captures nearly everyone the establishment left behind. The legacy media will not tell you this. They are too invested in maintaining comfortable narratives about fringe movements and protest votes. But the numbers do not lie. The support is growing, the ceiling is rising, and Reform UK just removed its single biggest obstacle to mainstream acceptance. That's it for today. Keep your eyes on this story because it is moving fast. If this analysis landed for you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you're not already part of the British Connors community, subscribe right now. We are here every week, cutting through the noise, saying what needs to be said. See you in the next one.